Listening. 90% of the problems that people have today in terms of their communication is listening. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they don't want to hear. They hear each other, but they don't actually listen. And I think in this program, we're going to go ahead and try to talk about just the process of listening, what it entails, and we'll see if we can move forward and kind of share some of the information. How are we going to do this today? Have a table of content?
Yep.
Okay, a lot of this stuff is kind of long. How are they going to go back and forth and really study this thing?
Well, you can just move the little circle thingy and then just pause it, and it's okay. You can just read it.
So they can read the objectives and what have you at their convenience, right?
Yeah.
All right. So all these key terms and things we're going to cover inside of the discussion, so we don't need to go over it, do we?
Nope.
Okay. But let me mention it. In any case, that's active listening, confirming message, disconfirming. That's interesting. That means the guy's invisible. And effective listening and emphatic listening, and external distractions. There's some more here that talks about hearing and internal distraction in listening. So when we get to it, then we can talk about it. But at this point, let's talk about listening. And actually, what is the listening process?
It's receiving, interpreting, evaluating, and responding.
So all four of those are necessary in the complete communication process, right?
Correct.
I send to you a message, you receive the message, you in turn give me feedback, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How about the importance of listening? Is it very important?
Yes.
Oh yeah, a lot of problems nowadays seem to stem from the fact that people don't listen. So that being said, let's talk about the types of listening. What are they?
Informational listening.
What is that?
It's basically when you listen to gain knowledge.
Knowledge? Okay, how about controlled listening?
It's basically selective listening, sort of.
Oh.
It's selective hearing and listening, where you only listen to what you want to listen to.
I see. How about creative listening?
It's sort of like the same thing.
Okay. How about emphatic? Emphatic listening. A lot of people, what does that mean?
Well, emphatic listening is where you sort of listen and then you sympathize.
Feel for the other guy, right?
Yeah,
okay.
In your response.
All right, there's listening in the workplace. You have what is called backstage and front stage behavior. Backstage is what?
It's basically what you do, listening and talking and communicating when somebody else isn't listening. Like when nobody else is watching.
Right. And then when somebody's watching, that's really
front stage.
Front stage, I see. Now, how about barriers to effective listening? What keeps a person from effectively understanding or hearing listening?
External distractions.
Okay, that's when outside noise like that, right?
Telephones, computers, TVs.
Internal.
Like thinking about something, contemplating something, exciting plans.
Hey, I want to talk over you. What is that?
Your desire to talk.
Oh, I see. Without listening, right?
Yeah.
And before you even finish what you're trying to. Okay, personal biases. What is that?
Personal biases are, well, prejudices and
things that you have already in your mind in regards to the listener. You already created your own scenario, own conclusion, right?
Yeah, and it sort of tints what they're saying.
Oh, I see. So pseudo-listening is perhaps the guy's already made up his mind, but he just kind of sympathizes. He looks like he's listening, but he's
not.
All right.
I do that a lot.
I notice. Strategies for effective listening. Use of thought speed. What is thought speed?
It's basically where you think ahead and you try to imagine what the other person's going to say so you can respond in an appropriate manner.
Oh, I see. But it says here, pay attention to nonverbal clues. What are the nonverbal clues? Is it the loudness of the voice?
Well, that's one of them, and also body language, etc.
Okay. Here it talks about use of silence. Shh. So what about silence?
Sometimes it's better to just keep your mouth shut.
Okay. Use of paraphrase response. When you paraphrase, what do you do? Like a parrot?
No, paraphrasing is basically where you say what the other person has just told you in your own words, and it helps the other person to understand that you are understanding yourself and listening.
And therefore it says be mindful. Mindful means simply paying attention, right? Okay. What is the difference between hearing and listening?
Hearing is a biological process. When sound waves hit your eardrum, etc. And listening is an active process that includes receiving, interpreting, evaluating, and responding to a message.
I see. The listening process is receiving. They talk about this. We also talked about watching the facial gestures, right?
Yep.
Paying attention to what that guy's really trying to say. And then interpreting it. Once you receive the message, then you're trying to make sense of what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, and then effective listener tries to decode. Hey, that's interesting. Have you ever seen that word decode? What is that?
It means to like sort through, sort of, and like understand.
Oh, okay. Evaluating, you need to make a judgment on it, right? And you connect the ideas and try to put everything together. It makes sense in your own mind. Right?
Yep.
How about responding?
Responding, well, it could be verbal or nonverbal. You could be like nodding. Like for example, if it's a teacher giving you a lecture, then it could be like nodding your head or answering or something like that.
I see. How about the types of listening? We talked about information. You know, a lot of times when people give you direction to do something, do you listen carefully? It's confusing, isn't it?
It is.
That's informational listening, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're listening, taking notes. Critical listening, what is that?
Analyzing message containing opinions, points of view, and attempts of persuasion, and then making decisions based on your analysis.
I see. So you have to analyze and take it apart, right? Because the guy's putting a lot of stuff in there, verbiage in there. How about creative listening?
Means actively using your imagination as you interpret a message.
Synergy. Synergy occurs when what?
When individual ideas of two or more persons are combined or reformed to create something new. Like 1 + 1 = 3.
Oh, okay. Emphatic listening?
Involves listening to another person's feelings.
I see. Well, okay, here's some clues to listening. Your eyes and your ears. Man, I thought it was only your ears. What about your eyes?
Well, your eyes help you take in and understand that the other person is listening by their body language and gestures.
I see. Backstage and front stage. We already talked about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, what are the barriers?
Barriers?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. External distractions.
Hey! Okay, those are the kind of barriers. When the guy's talking over you, right? Outside noise, knocking, things that kind of keep you from concentrating. Again, we talked about the internal listening, right? When you have to think and you got worries. I'm not even concentrating. Gee. That's what?
That's internal distraction.
Okay. And then, of course, when you talk over somebody, I want to say my piece first.
I had a friend who did that. It was really annoying.
I know. They talk before they even listen. Pseudo-listening is when you're pretending to listen to somebody else. You nod, you smile, but he's not really paying attention. He doesn't give a chance. Okay, here we talked about the thought speed, okay, and the use of silence. Silence is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here are the review questions, the tests, another test, and some more tests that people can take and stop at. Right, they need to hit that pause button every so often just to check themselves out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're finished. All right, can we say goodbye now?
Goodbye.